Good. How are you?
Good. It's Friday Eve.
Yes, it is.
It's a beautiful thing. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Awesome.
It's almost Friday, so that's the positive thing, like you say,
Is this meeting being streamed on YouTube?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Absolutely.
I'll be polite.
Well, thank you. Use your Southern hospitality.
I would be nice anyway.
I kind of figured as much. Hey, Howard.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. How's it going?
All right.
Awesome. Cariella, hi. How are you?
Hi, and good. How are you guys doing?
Awesome. Really good. Thanks. Who's on the phone at the bottom? Well, it's only on the bottom on my screen.
No, I see it too. See, what's it saying? No, it just has a phone number on it.
Hey, Emily.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I guess it's me. Maybe I didn't do this right. I dialed in and did the video chat.
You can do,
Was that?
if you have a mic on your computer, then you don't have to dial in. It's totally up to you.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I only know because I'm on like about 20 million Zoom meetings a day. So I'm like,
You're saying, like, so if I'm using Zoom on my iPad, I only need to dial in through there.
yeah, but you're fine right now because it's not a problem at all.
No,
Like
it's not a problem.
you're fine. So I wouldn't change anything. You're good. We can hear you.
It's only if there's like a feedback, like an echo sometimes, but you're good.
But you're good. So you're all good.
Now, my phone number won't appear for people to see, will it?
I don't think so, right?
No,
I
I don't see it.
streaming, right?
Well,
But you can see my phone number.
I mean, I guess we can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Hang on.
phone number at the bottom
Oh,
of
yeah.
Okay. Let me
Please
see
like
that.
pause, please.
the.
There you go. So
You should be able to turn your audio back on the bottom
yeah,
on the left if you're on a computer or Chromebook,
he's on an iPad.
iPad.
Yeah.
I've been troubleshooting children all week, so
Yeah. I was wondering how you're doing with the distance learning on your end.
it's a challenge. I do special ed, so it's doubly a challenge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's going better than the spring. So
Good. That's good. My son's been doing he's been doing pretty well actually. He's 8th grade, so it's a little bit
Oh.
easier,
Yeah.
so- but he came in one day and he's like, Zoom keeps picking me up. I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's okay, just log back in. It's fine. Don't worry about it. They record it. It's okay. So he's like, okay. And then he like comes in, I got kicked off again. I was like, okay, log back in as we just talked about. So,
Probably Monday when CCSD all logged in.
it was last week. So it was before
Okay.
that. So I don't know. But we had upgraded our internet here because my husband and I both are working from home and then he's doing
Mhm.
school. And we like went the gigablast route because we're just like, whatever, we have to, we're on
Yeah.
calls all day long. So that's where we're at. Yeah.
Just testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
We can hear
Perfect.
loud and clear.
Very
Okay.
good.
There you go.
So just so you guys know, the live stream is running now. So we're going to go ahead and get started with everybody that's here. So welcome to the meeting, everyone. So first order of business is just kind of an introduction of everyone. I know we kind of do this, but we've got new people every time it seems like. So I think it's just a good idea for to just kind of go around and say your name and which community you come from. And, when it gets to management, we'll definitely introduce ourselves as well. Maybe start with Jeanette.
Okay, all right. Hi, I'm Jeanette Hannigan. I live in Highgate, and I'm glad to be participating. Okay, next.
Chris.
Yes, Chris Dvorak, Madison Colony.
Awesome. Emily?
Emily LeBaron, Kensington.
Perfect. Howard?
Howard Dow, Director of Providence in Barrington Manor.
Perfect. I'm Tasha Davila. I'm the community manager for Providence. We've got Jenna Mooney on the line. She is the director of lifestyle for all kinds of divisions and stuff. She's higher up now, so she's no longer here, but she's still here supporting us, thank goodness.
Yes.
And then I just wanted to introduce to everybody Cariella. She's in the middle of my screen. I don't know where she's at on yours, but she's our new lifestyle director here at Providence, and she just started this week. So we're super happy to have her, and she's a part of this meeting so that she can kind of get acclimated to you guys and to running these meetings and such. So we're really excited to have her on board here at Providence.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Hi guys, thank you. I'm pumped to be part of this community.
Awesome. So perfect. We'll go ahead and move on to item 2, which is the review of the minutes from the previous meeting. So admittedly, I just sent those to you about 15 minutes ago through your guys' email. I have no idea if you've even had an opportunity to look at them. It was pretty short, but if you guys want to wait to approve till the next meeting, you certainly can.
Okay. I know
Looks
that
good to me.
the last meeting we discussed the fireworks options. And after really pondering about it, and I would actually think it would be better just to not do fireworks for the rest of the year. For the larger events, if we can't accommodate the whole community, I just don't think that's fair for everybody.
No problem. Yeah. So we're actually going to be discussing or rediscussing the September through December updated schedule.
Oh, okay.
So you definitely, that's a great point to bring up at that time as well. Do I have a motion to approve, or did you guys want to wait?
They're not used to doing motions, Tasha.
Oh, that's right. This is super unofficial. Sorry.
They're all looking-
So do you guys just approve, or?
So basically, yeah, no, normally it's like, are there any comments, questions, concerns about it? Otherwise, if they're all good to go, then we move on to the next item.
Perfect. Are we
It's
good, guys? I
social.
think we're good.
It's
Approve.
social committee. It's, yeah, so that's what we
Go
do.
forward.
Item 3.
We
So
can
item
motion
3
if you
for-
need.
Everyone's like, what?
I know. Sorry.
Am I in the wrong meeting?
This is the community manager, Tasha. This is how I run the board meetings, but I think you guys are the fun committee. I know. So items 3 and 4 on the agenda actually kind of go together, discussion of the COVID-19 impact on events, and of course, reviewing the event schedule for September through December, which I resent to you guys a few minutes ago, just because I know you guys had a copy of it from the last meeting, but I wasn't sure who kept that. So I went ahead and resent it out a few minutes ago. But we can kind of combine those two if you guys want. And I'm gonna kind of let Jenna take the reins on this a little bit more, because she's just better at that than I am.
Oh, you're so kind. So with the discussion that we had at the last committee meeting, we did discuss events upcoming from September all the way through December. A few of the things that we talked about and we moved forward with doing is including the scavenger hunt in September, as well as implementing Scarecrow Row again in October. Additionally, keeping Trucking Tuesdays through September and October, as we've been doing all summer long, which have been pretty successful. We're having mobile ordering, a lot of success with the mobile ordering, which has been going very well. Really good feedback from the food truck partners. All in all, one complained. And I said, well, then you don't have to come back to Providence, so that's okay. And they were like, no, we still want to come. And I was like, okay, then what are we complaining about? But, didn't make as much money as they would have liked to, but it was last week when it was 116 degrees out. So one of those things where, unfortunately, that was the situation. However, I do think with the Burr months coming of September and October, we should do pretty well, I would think. Additionally, we talked about keeping the community yard sale in September, as well as implementing the National Good Neighbor Day for September 28th. One of the things that we discussed, and after further kind of thinking about how we could really do the Good Neighbor Day, we had actually pitched it as that we would have ice cream and sweet trucks going through all of the communities. With the amount of partners that we have, and then to Emily's point at the last meeting of getting hitting every street, I just don't think that that would be feasible with the amount of communities that we have inside of Providence. So what we're recommending doing is putting them stationing them at the parks like we do for Truck and Tuesday, but this would be on Monday for Good Neighbor Day. So I think that would be a good way to ensure that way no one gets missed, because I don't think we could actually really guarantee that streets wouldn't get missed with those sweet trucks. After you said that, Emily, last meeting, and I was thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I just don't think we're going to be able to guarantee that. And I would hate to have it be like, well, our street got missed or our entire community got missed, that kind of thing. Yeah. It's a
We
really
have tears in our neighborhood from children.
Yeah, and we don't want tears. We want only happiness. So happiness. So bringing out those sweet trucks on a Monday instead, or in addition to Truck and Tuesdays. And it's an off week, so we wouldn't have Truck and Tuesday that next day. So it would be Truck and Tuesday would be on September 22nd. National Good Neighbor Day is on Monday, September 28th. And then the next Truck and Tuesday would be on October 6th. So it's a kind of a good little mix in there, I think. Additionally, keeping or implementing a fall gardening class. We are recommending to keep that on Zoom. That was something we kind of talked a little bit about last time about if we should implement it in person or on Zoom. I think looking at the governor mandates and things like that, we should just continue to, our recommendation as management team would to continue to do things at a distance, virtually, online. Which brings up probably the biggest thing in regard to Huckleberry Harvest Day. We did talk at length at our last meeting about Huckleberry Harvest Day and providing different options for Huckleberry Harvest Day with different like pumpkins pickup at different locations, that sort of thing. For the Providence Post, we were up against a deadline for the Providence Post to get out on time before the first of the month. And that's where we put a lot of information in, as you all are aware, for upcoming community events. So we put in a message that just said, we're working on something. Please bear with us. Please keep updated with all of the additional social media communication channels that we utilize, and we'll let you know when we kind of have a decision as to what we want to do with that. I don't think anyone really wants to say like, I know we talked a lot about it at the last meeting. No one really wants to be like, yes, let's have millions of people at the park. Obviously, we're not allowed to do that. So I know we had kind of presented a few different options, but I wanted to give you another option that was just recently brought to my attention that some of our other CCMC communities are doing throughout Nevada, Utah, and Colorado, Arizona, and Texas. And what they're doing is they're doing like trick or treat pickup. So basically, if you think about it, kind of like how we've done donut day or cheeseburger day or popsicle giveaway day, where we're in the parking lots and we actually hand out a bag, or in years past, we've handed out like a taco or whatever that the case may be. In this regard, it would be vehicles driving through, it could be decorated all cute, and then we would hand them an actual trick or treat bag with different, little treats in there. Also, we could partner with our traditions partners and actually invite them to come out and be spaced out. So one of the things we had talked about was doing candy stations in the park. Maybe take that idea, but put it in the parking lots instead, and then have cars drive up and actually hand bags full of like information from the partners, from our traditions partners, as well as with like candy and that sort of thing. So actually no residents would be exiting their vehicles. So that, as I've been kind of, in my new world, in my other world, kind of talking about different fall ideas, a lot of people are doing things like that, and they've had success doing different things with that already. So I wanted to bring that to the table this evening and trying to get your thought on that. Obviously, it's not our traditional Huckleberry Harvest Day. but I don't think we can have a harvest day the way that we've obviously had it in years past this year. So what do you guys think?
I mean, I guess to have at least something, since we can't do what we normally do, it sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice to do something.
And it would not be pumpkins. You know, we would just reach out to our pumpkin vendor and say, sorry, you know, like we're just isn't going to work this year, but can we make our order for next year already? You know, that kind of thing. And kind of go, you know, like we swear we really like the pumpkins, you know, but that sort of thing. But then that way, we can engage our traditions partners too, which obviously has been a bit of a challenge this year because we haven't had the opportunity to bring them out and have them partner with us on particular things too. So I think it kind of takes like Trick or Treat on the Promenade that we had many, many years ago, some of the candy elements that we've had at Huckleberry Harvest Day, and kind of combines it all. But I think keeps people kind of in that safety. I mean, it's not safe. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not like, and I'm envisioning it be kind of like, I don't know. Have y'all gone to like any like fast food restaurant, like Chick-fil-A or McDonald's or anything? They like hand things out like in like a bucket and then you take it out, you know? And then, so it's like they put it in and then you take it. So there's no hand-to-hand contact or anything like that. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking about it. And people can still dress up, you know, that kind of thing too. I think there's still the opportunity for that. It's a little easier to do. Yeah, Jeanette, what do you think?
I'm for it because, you know, see, I don't have young children now, so you know, it's hard for me to have an opinion because I don't know how the parents will, you know, if they'll appreciate or not. I just don't know. But with the way the climate is with the pandemic, it probably is a good alternative because you don't have to limit it. You don't have to say, oh, we can only accommodate 50 people.
Right.
So if they're coming in you know, in their cars, so we could accommodate everybody that wants to go through, you know, or until the candy runs out.
Right.
But
all supplies last. Yeah. And it is something that we could do where you maybe designate, I mean, there's all different ways to do that, like where we could do times, you know, where people like sign up in like, you know, half-hour increments or something like that, just to kind of help with the traffic flow. We would still need to work through that a little bit. And I would recommend that we would utilize, depending on the partners that we could get, if our traditions partners are interested, we could possibly do it at both parks at the same time simultaneously, you know, kind of a thing. So, you know, or because we've done that before with like ice cream giveaways and stuff like that. And that's worked well because then it helps like, so not the entire community is coming to one location. So we could even say like, hey, sign up for a time, but it wouldn't be like a short time. It'd be like, you know, so that way we can help with the traffic flow. So if you sign up between, you know, 4 and 5, please come between 4 and 5, as opposed to, you know, just come from 4 to 8 and then everyone comes at 4 and no one's there at 8, you know, to try and help that out a little bit. Just some ideas, but if you guys are okay, I think that might be a really great way for us to be able to still engage with the residents and our traditions partners and still do something, even though it's not what we're used to doing, but at least it is something.
I think it's a good idea.
Great.
You know?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I agree. I have a young kid and an older one, and it's a fun way to still do trick or treat for families who maybe aren't comfortable. I mean, who knows what's going to happen if there is
Right.
real trick or treat or not. So
I know, it's so, yeah, it's
I think there will be, but whether, you know, not everyone will be comfortable with it. So.
yes, exactly. I completely agree with that. Okay, great. Awesome. Well, good. I'm glad that was kind of something we could work out. Additionally, as we talked through November, we did discuss and we agreed, you all agreed to do the the cookbook, the digital cookbook. So we'll get that rolling as well. Light up the night Halloween or holiday decorating contest. And then hometown holidays also is another thing that if it were me, I would recommend pushing that to have discussion at your next committee meeting to have hopefully a better understanding of what the climate for the pandemic is at this time. That would still give Cariella enough time to plan for a September meeting for a December event of any nature. And Jeanette, to your point about doing fireworks, that would be, I know we had made that as possible to do fireworks at hometown holidays. And so I would recommend that you push that to your next meeting. That would still give enough time for to promote it to the residents as well, whatever it is.
Jenna, what about photos with Santa? Did we talk about maybe moving or talk about it at this meeting also?
So photos with Santa is something that I did actually, as I was introducing Cariella to all of our vendors, I did actually receive a phone call today from our partner Celebrate Kids, and they are doing a few different ways to do photos with Santa. So there still is an opportunity to do them much like we've done them in the past. However, not sitting on Santa's lap, but having like a photo session with Santa like we've done previously. But as opposed to sitting on Santa's lap, it's kind of like Santa's here and the family's here. And there's presents and stuff in between. The last meeting, I do believe we discussed that the committee did want to move forward if it was all possible to keep the photos with Santa.
Perfect.
And we would be charging for that event, as we have in years past, for the photography, and they would have their own personalized gallery for them to be able to purchase photos that way.
It's awesome.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
Great. Oh, and one thing, I apologize, I skipped over Halloween trivia night. With the let's keep it on the digital side, we have put it as a Zoom event for Halloween trivia night and charging $5 per screen for that particular event to cover prizes.
Okay.
Great.
Awesome.
How are the virtual events going? Are they?
Yeah, great question, Jeanette. We had the wine or the cookies and canvas, and we had the Canvas at Your Casa event. And I think we had 14 people sign up for the children's event, and we had 12 people sign up for the adult event. So while not nearly the numbers that we normally see in person, I would say that's still really good considering people do spend a lot of time online, and the fact that they were able to do the paintings in their home, and we did receive really good feedback from that. I think one of the best parts about that was that it was a pass-through cost for the association. So people were still able to engage, and it did not cost the association anything for those particular opportunities, which is awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And we had a new neighbor meet and greet the other night, and we had 8 people sign up and 4 people attend. So that was good too. And we did that on Zoom as well. So that was good as well. So, I mean, the opportunities to engage residents, I keep saying to like my teams that like we're in a renaissance period almost, that we're still learning how, and we're coming out and we're like, look at what we can engage further in different ways in the future. So I think we're learning a little bit right now as we continue to deal with this new normal, even though it's not normal. I don't care what anyone says. There's nothing normal about this right now.
It's not normal. It's
not at all.
I don't like doing FaceTime. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Does that pretty much wrap up the events then, Jenna, the updated events?
Yeah, I think so, unless there's any additional questions that the members have. I don't think so. So yes, let's move it along.
Perfect. So in a recent string of emails with myself and the rest of the Providence team, we were reminded that there is a time capsule at Knickerbocker Park. So Jenna brought that to our attention and I was like, well, I don't know what to do with it. So apparently I think it's supposed to be removed this December, right, Jenna?
Yeah, so the time capsule was actually put in when they did the groundbreaking of Knickerbocker Park in December of 2010. And on that, it says to be removed or to be open December 2020. And I even remember when I started in 2011 going like, well, I only 10 years. That's so late. Not much changes in 10 years. That was what my thought was anyways. But
that was when you were young and naive, Jenna.
well, and it was before my time. I would just like to point out that that was pre-Jenna time at Providence. So, so yes, it is supposed to be opened this December. I think our recommendation would possibly be to hold that till you can actually have an event to open it and kind of make a bigger thing out of it. Unless y'all are feeling very much like, yes, we absolutely have to open it right now or in December. It feels like December, but what do you guys
Or
think? about
just
that?
extend it to be 20 years instead of 10.
That's a good
We
idea.
might have something different. So I don't. We'll have flying cars by then. So
I do think 20 years would have more significance.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's a plaque on it.
You're like, no, 2020 is
Where
big.
is it? Where is it?
It's so funny because I had to send Kobe, the operations coordinator, like I had to send him like a Google Earth shot and I'm like circling. I'm like, it's generally in this area. So when you're at Knickerbocker and you're in the parking lot and you're facing like the back of the restrooms and
Right.
then like the
Okay.
splash pad, if you walk kind of towards the splash pad and then you look down to the right, it's there.
Oh, okay.
It's like
I
a
could
home
walk right
plate.
over.
Yeah, it's like a home plate kind of thing. So maybe
Oh.
what I would recommend doing then is maybe adding like another, like I wouldn't take the one off that's there and then put another thing in its place. Maybe I would add like just a smaller thing that says, you know, to let more, as more time has, we could come up with something cute, you know, like to let more time pass into really something. Now there once was a time and it's still there. I don't know, something like that. You know, we can come with something cute to put there and then to kind of like add below it or next to it or something like that. So we're not taking the time to remove the full thing that's there right now, but we're like saying like amend it. I don't know.
That would be funny.
I think that would be good. Like ... continued. You know, I don't know. So we'll make that recommendation then to add just a smaller plaque then, if that works for everyone, to continue it to December of 2030.
Yeah, wow, that's a weird thing to say.
Well, that 2020 sounded pretty far in 2010 too. Yeah, here we are. So
I wish we could rewind, reset.
a little
No.
bit. A little bit. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let's just plan to do that then.
When we hit 2000 and everybody was afraid that the banks were going to go crazy because they didn't
The Y2K scare.
Y2K. There you go. Fun times.
All right, guys. So we'll go ahead. If nobody has any more comments or questions on that line item, we'll go ahead and move forward to reviewing the proposed 2021 social lifestyle budget, which I also sent in an email, I believe, last week or early this week. So I think everyone should have a copy of it.
So in regard to the 2021 lifestyle budget, this obviously has not been approved yet. The Finance Committee is meeting on September 3rd to review the proposed draft budget from
So
Vin Nash.
actually that's
Is that right?
changed.
Oh, okay.
Well, they're meeting on September 3rd. They're going to be reviewing financials, but we're pushing off the review of the actual budget a little bit further.
Okay, so I apologize. I had thought it was that week. So, so the Finance Committee has not yet reviewed this budget, correct, Tasha? Okay. So we wanted you all to have the moment to, you know, and Tasha sent it last week for you guys to take a look at it. As like a high level overview, we have pulled back significantly for the Lifestyle 2021 calendar and proposed budget, dropping it more than, I believe, 50% than what was originally budgeted for 2020. With that being said, though, I really wanted to just make a note of just a few little things, keeping the signature events, or a spring, summer, fall, winter event for the association, with additionally some smaller events still included in there, that would be a paid for type of event. Earlier on in the year, you'll notice that there's still things on Zoom and things like that, because we are projecting and anticipating that more than likely it won't be until probably the second quarter of 2021 where we might even have the possibility of hosting an event to kind of what we have had in the past. Additionally, I wanted to stress the fact that just because it's on the budget, the proposed budget, doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Obviously, we've learned that very significantly this year. Additionally, it doesn't mean that there's not additional opportunities for us to continue to have events for the community and provide those engagement opportunities, much like we did the paint classes and things like that, where it's a pass-through cost for the association. So anything like that would not be included within the budget, because it would be just a net zero completely for that. So really, I mean, I feel like most of the events that were included in this are very standard events that we've had year over year. So I didn't think it was necessary to go line by line with them. Just as the overall dropping the amount of budgeted events from, I think we had originally scheduled, I don't know how many events this year, but again, dropping it to a much lower number for budgeted events. So if there's any specific questions on the budget, otherwise, I guess there's no otherwise. If there's questions, let me answer them for you. That's kind of where I'm at.
I like it. You know, you have the major events that the community expects.
Mhm.
You have the other smaller ones, you know, little more personal. You know, I think you did a great job of cutting it down, you know, and with the way the budget is and the unrest, I think you did a great job. You know, so yeah. I mean, I actually I kept hearing, I might get myself in trouble. I keep hearing, oh, well, every resident is paying so many dollars for only 40 people at an event.
Mhm.
Well, I went and I looked at the budget for 2019 and the over budget that was, and I divided that between the homes. And at that point, it was like around $48, something like that, a
For the
year.
Yeah.
A year. Okay, so now this one, for this budget, before any revenue, each home is only spending less than $23 for a whole year events. And I think you've done a great job on that. And I think the community needs to, you know, put the big girl panties or boy panties on and let's go forward. So, sorry, I'll probably get in a lot of trouble for that one, but
You're good. Thanks, Jeanette, for sharing your thoughts. We appreciate that. And again, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be more opportunities and more events to happen and things like that that would be at a net zero for the association. And we've had that before. It just, you know, normally there's other things in there and things like that. But I think everything kind of rolled in together with the pandemic, along with
right.
everything else. It just makes sense to kind of take some time back and see where we're at, because the future is unknown, you know, as far as what we are going to be able to do and when we're going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Emily or Chris, do you guys have anything you'd like to add or to talk about or in regard to it?
I guess I would agree with Jeanette that it was done well, and especially, you know, if we're going to say we heard people's concerns from, the annual meeting last year, definitely scaled down from what we normally have. So, I mean, we're doing what they're asking for.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I agree. I think it's a good way to scale it down and, not be spending as much, which is an issue apparently, but it also keeps enough events that those of us who purchased a home in a community like Providence for a reason, we still have things to attend and community, opportunities to spend time with our neighbors. If we had wanted to live somewhere where there were no events, we would just live in a little neighborhood with a gate and that would be it. But it's a master plan community, and that's one of the benefits of living here. So I feel like this is a good balance.
Good. Great.
No, it's
thank
actually
you.
good to hear from Emily, because you have younger children, right?
I do. I have a third grader and sixth grader.
No, so you're young, and you actually spoke on what I've been actually discussing with my husband, is that when we purchased our home, we knew that we would have 2 HOAs. We knew there was going to be rules, and all that. Okay. And we also knew there's going to be events.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thrilled. Do I like all the rules? No, I don't have to agree with everything, but you know what I mean? When we moved here, and I keep thinking about that, like, yes, we have to, worry about the budget, but at the same time, we have to remember we're never going to get 100% positive rating. But a lot of people did move here knowing that they had the courtesy patrol. They have the HOAs, so houses aren't going to be destroyed. It's not going to be an eyesore. We have parks, we have events. There's a lot of good things in our community, and we have to make sure that we keep that going, just responsible. So thank you, Emily.
When we moved here, we did a lot of research and wanted to be in a community where we have opportunities to meet neighbors. And that's what Providence has been. So if it were to, if we had to suddenly get rid of all the events, we'd probably be hightailing it to Sky Canyon, to be honest. So, and I think there's a lot of other families that feel that way.
Emily, don't say the S word.
I know. I don't want to say it. I don't really want to go there, but
don't say the S word. No, I hear you.
There's a reason why we chose this community, and this is not
Well,
all of the reasons, but a big part of it.
Well, you have to remember that around Providence, we have pet waste stations. And I've heard that Sky Canyon doesn't have that. And they actually have a big problem with pet waste. So,
Wow.
Yay, Providence.
They should do an event to scoop the poop then, huh? Well, sounds like their problem, but yes. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. I think that's great feedback that then Tasha can then continue and provide the finance committee with, as well as the board of directors for any kind of questions that may come up in regard to social.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Well, let's go ahead and move on to resident discussion. So this is just a time for you guys to bring up any comments or concerns you have.
I just have a quick question regarding the fireworks. Are we under any time restraints on rescheduling that with the vendor? Did we make any deposits that we are, no?
No deposits were made. And while we had a contract with them that was signed, no deposits were made. We have been in contact with the vendor. And so they're very well aware that there is no direction as far as how we want to move forward with that. We are tentatively kind of like happily going possibly December with them, but they know that is not a done deal. Our contract, we would have to the board would have to sign a new contract if we were to select the date in December to move forward with for fireworks. Otherwise, we would then reschedule for next 4th of July.
Okay.
yeah, so we're good there. Same thing with the pumpkins. Someone reached out to me and said, like, have we already paid for the pumpkins? Have we done anything with the pumpkins? We've ordered the pumpkins, but again, we're not even under a contract with our pumpkin provider. Never thought I'd say that, our pumpkin provider. So we're not under a contract with our pumpkin provider. And so we have not made a deposit as of now for our pumpkins, nor will we at this point, based off of your direction this evening.
Okay, well then, I mean, if anybody doesn't have anything else, we can go ahead and move to adjourn.
They don't move to adjourn, Tosh.
And let's not do that because you guys are very unofficial and fun.
So I
move
do
to
want to
adjourn.
say, I more than likely will not be on any more of your social committee meetings because Carrie Ella's here. So she's going to be kind of taking over the reins on that. And, but y'all know how to get a hold of me if you need anything, but yeah, so say hi. I'll say hi too. And when we have events again in the future, I'm sure I'll be out to help a little bit here and there too. So when that happens, yeah, when that happens. So it was good seeing you all. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and evening. I guess it's after 6, so a rest of your evening.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks you guys so much.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.